Dinu. And he's not going to be an easy opponent to overcome for anybody, despite the fact that his career has been on the slow burn. Seemingly had his man in position to take him out early, about half a minute before, but didn't finish him off. He does do, though, in the end. These huge punches, 3 right hands enough to send Tamim to the floor. And he wasn't going to get up and get any more of those. Finish for Tamim. And on goes Bogdan Dinu.
Un vingator prin knockout, Bogdan Dinu. Romania,
Well, the Neckcan Tepper is 29 years old, 6'5" tall, a real giant of a heavyweight. 6-0 his record since turning pro back in 2010. He was building a reputation as something of a big hitter. This was for the WBC Mediterranean title. It was the furthest he'd gone in a very short career. We were into, as you can see here, the 9th round before he would get to stop the Croatian Jakov Gospic. And he was no mug either. This was only his second ever defeat, the Croat. And Tepper would go on from here, actually, to fight Sisi Salif. What about that for a right uppercut? That is one of the best punches we saw this year. There it goes. And that's why he's got a bit of a following. You get hit with one of those, that is usually the outcome. As he said, he went on to beat Sisi Salif, and he meets Varo Vekeloglu for the IBF East-West titles soon as well, and he'll probably win that. Well, this time last year, Pablo Hernandez was dreaming of that 2011 would deliver that world title shot. Ali Ismailov had to be dealt with first. The 37-year-old had been in action, recently won the PABA Cruiser title. This would be one of the worst nights of his career, though. He'd be down and out inside 1 round here. Great work to the body and the head again. And it's easy to see delayed reaction then as he's sent through the ropes. Hernandez, as we know, went on to beat Aurelius before facing Steve Cunningham for the IBF title. That fight ended after 6 due to a headbutt. But Cunningham was down in the first round. That fight has been rescheduled for the 4th of February in 2012. And he wouldn't back against Hernandez going to and doing the same to Cunningham again, i.e. putting him down en route to a victory. So back to the small hall. Marcos Garcia turning pro back in 2010. Hadn't won a fight. This was his 4th against Shemuel Pagan, the chosen one. It was his 2nd fight, and this guy has got some amateur credentials. He's a 5-time Golden Gloves winner. He's just 23 years of age. We'd seen him also on the same bill as Saddam the World Kid Ali. So we'd seen him before. This was the undercard of the Zab Judah Kaiser Mabuza fight, and he'd made a big impression on himself. And indeed, plenty of the crowd here. Good crowd inside the arena. And again, tremendous work, scintillating hand speed this guy's got. And he had 1:56 left to survive, and he wasn't going to do it. One of the few that's managed to transfer all of that power, all that talent from the Golden Gloves and take it into the pro ranks. And like Saddam Ali, he's got a big following in New York. And this was going to be his night. And that was the end of the night for Marcos Garcia. As we said, he's only 23 years of age, this guy, and he really is one of those names to look out for in the next year or two. A really exciting talent, sells out these small halls and arenas wherever he goes. He's got a big fan following, and as we said, the reason he's got it is because he's capable of doing this. Non-stop action from start to finish, and the finish usually ends up with the opponent down and out.
Now 2-0 from Brooklyn.
Just 2-0 after this night. But listen to the reaction he gets inside the arena. So Kessler on display here, looking to get back to the very top. This took place at the Parken in Denmark. The Warrior King, who was on his way back to the top of the rankings. He's actually got himself a fight to take on Stieglitz for the WBO super middleweight title in 2012. Remember, the only people that had stopped him, Joe Calzaghe and Andre Ward. And this was a bad night for Bouadla. The Frenchman wouldn't go more than 6 rounds here. He was down once in the third, deducted a point for spitting out his mouthpiece following the knockdown. He was knocked down 2 in the fourth, twice in the 6th. The referee would stop it after the second knockdown. He should have stopped it after the first knockdown because Kessler was all over his man. Far too much power. Everything that he had was more than his opponent had. And that was it. It was then waved off. On to another Eurosport favourite now. This is Marco Huck, who we've seen on, well, so many occasions. 35-1-0 Huck, the one defeat on Huck's record, the one that haunts him still to this day, was that fight back in December of 2007 when he was knocked out in the final round of that IBF cruiserweight title fight by Steve Cunningham. But he's been on to take EBU titles. He's got the WBO title, which he picked up for the first time in August of 2009 when he beat Victor Emilio Ramirez. His fights usually go the distance. This was going to be one of those that didn't. Hugo Hernangare of Argentina, experienced fighter, 34-5-0 coming into this fight in Munich. It would be the end of his night, though. Huck just too good for him. He'd have one more fight in 2011. Now moving on to Ray Smith. This is back in the cruiserweight division. Ray Smith, little known, up here against Andre Fonfara, who was 16-2-0. Again, another big crowd inside the Prudential Centre. This, another of the undercard fights, but always really well attended, these. So he was 9-6-0, Ray Smith, the 30-year-old cruiserweight. And Fonfara doing a job on his man here. He is reasonably durable, despite the fact he's got quite a lot of defeats on his records, as Smith. And Fonfara with that big right hand, following it up with hooks to the body and a left hook, finally sending him down. Round 4 of 8. This is when it would end for Ray Smith tonight. And back he would go to Little Rock in Arkansas with another defeat on the record. Fonfara, 16-2-0, was now 17-0. And he too primed for better things. There's the finish, that's the combination. And it's so good, we'll get another look at it here. Smith completely outclassed, really. The big right hand, the hook to the body, and then the hook to the head. Great combination.
1 minute and 4 seconds of round number 4. Your winner by knockout from Bioli Brzegi, Poland, Andrew.
Hard-hitting action then continues with Kamieniero and Majewski. And Patryk Majewski, we've seen as well plenty of times before, the 31-year-old middleweight, the machine he's called, from Poland. 17-1-0, and that one has only just recently arrived on his record. At the end of 2011, he lost to a guy called Jose Miguel Torres. He was actually knocked out in the 6th round, but when he went in here against Kamieniero, he was unbeaten, and he would stay unbeaten because he would win this by stopping his opponent here in the 8th round. Done well to survive up to this point. It was a fight that we saw earlier on this year on an Adamek undercard. Took a few big shots in this fight as well, did Majewski, as you can see. Certainly has durability, able to take a punch. Was beginning to look quite war-torn and battered, but that big right hand, the first one that stunned Eddie Kamieniero. And again, as you can see, the pole with huge fan base inside this arena. There it was, not the second one, the first one that actually pinned him just there. And here we go again, working to the body. Big right hand there. He'd lost everything. Didn't know where he was. Majewski finished him off. And as we said, he would go on to lose that unbeaten record in a fight for the North American Boxing Federation middleweight title in November. Now this is Matty Askin from Great Britain, the assassin from Blackpool in Lancashire. And that's why, so quick, even the cameraman missed it. He's up against Juan Manuel Garay, who we've already seen being stopped in this program. Matty Askin, 12-0. This fight from August of this year, the Tower Circus Blackpool in the UK stops his man here inside the 4th round. And seen him quite a few times.